Good evening, everyone. Oh, hidden light, vibrant in every atom. Oh, hidden light, shining in every creature. Oh, hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Thank you.
So our speaker for today is Mr. Veda Vyas. Mr. Veda Vyas is a distinguished professional with a diverse background, transitioning from a career as a nuclear scientist at the Baba Atomic Research Center, that is BARC, in Mumbai to becoming a life coach and regression therapist. With a mechanical engineering degree and a master's in philosophy from Osmania University, he has trained extensively in life coaching, hypnotherapy, and regression therapy, acquiring credentials from institutions such as Kochacharya Incorporated, Eka California Institute of Hypnosis, and Tasso International. His expertise in applied spirituality is completely complemented by his role as a meditation faculty with the Brahma Kumaris, where he volunteered as a faculty member and a motivational speaker for 4 years. Currently, Mr. Veda Vyas is the founder and director of Spiritual Heroes Private Limited, where he specializes in wellness and business leadership coaching. An Enneagram certified professional and certified networker, he is also a panel life coach for Global Action on Poverty, an NGO. His journey as a life coach and healer spans 6 years, during which he has conducted over 1,000 seminars and workshops across India, sharing his knowledge with professionals, scientists, and engineers. His unique coaching and healing methods, rooted in various spiritual practices like Reiki, Vipassana, and Isha Yoga, have earned him a reputation as a spiritual healer. He also hosts a weekly talk show on the Pyramid Meditation channel. Veda Vyas's contributions extend to his involvement with the Business Network International, where he has been an active member for over 5 years, earning the Best Vice President Award in the Hyderabad region and serving as a director consultant for the BNI Dream Team. His mission is to train the next generation of life coaches and healers, helping individuals achieve disruptive success in their personal and professional lives through practical implementation and holistic growth. Welcome once again, our esteemed speaker for today, Mr. Veda Vyas, who will be talking to us about creating one's destiny. Welcome,
Thank,
Mr. Veda Vyas.
thank you, Deepti. And everybody here, I'm happy to see you. I'll just share a little bit, few slides, not much. It's just to give a flow to our sharing. Then we'll conduct this more as a conversation than as an oration. Is that okay for everyone?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. So we are speaking about potential and enlightenment. So this is spiritual space, but for me, spirituality has always been about practical life rather than concepts. So I put everything as if it is happening in our life and how we can relate to it properly. So what is potential? If it has to be from day-to-day activities to a profession, to different, it might be a hobby, it might be in relationships, it might be in spirituality, and the potential in fundamentally what it could be. So I see it as, I express potential as available mind space or freedom, and freedom basically. It's like processing power of a computer. Based on how much processing power it has, it can be used to do many number of things. So having a lot of potential means you can do a lot of things with lot less stress, without the cost of health and other things. So how to increase this processing power is what is unlocking potential or improving our potential or our path to enlightenment. How is mind space related to freedom? in a very basic sense, if someone is too busy, they really don't have freedom to do whatever they want. They are already compulsively doing something which they have already felt that this is what I need to do. And if there is a situation where they can't do what they are supposed to do, they will be upset. So that sense of lack of freedom is what I'm speaking about. And if a person, even if they are busy, when a situation comes, are very adaptable. They are not stuck with what they are doing, and they can easily be very flexible. Then that is called freedom. They still have a sense of freedom despite changing situations. So freedom is how we react. It's not about the situation at all. Given the same situation, some person may feel they don't have any freedom and they feel like they are suffering. And another person might like, oh, this is an opportunity, I can do this, I can do that. So this freedom, again, is connected to mind space, available ability to process things in a better way. So how do we know that how much processing space we have? So simply observe our mind. Can we mute someone for now? Okay. And so how do we know how much potential we have? I've simply graded into how do we observe it? Optimal mind space. That is, we have enough space to do whatever we want. We can be constantly successful, do everything we want, and have a freedom of choice. It's like having a quantum computer with which you can do anything, sort of. And then there is a functional mind space. Functional mind space is we have enough space to do what we want, what we are supposed to do, or what we can do, not beyond that. And it's always a constant struggle, but we are good at managing things. It's like having a high-end Mac computer. So if you have that, it's very convenient, it is very fast, and you can scale your work easily. So in this functional, most of the people are in this functional mind space. When a person is in functional mind space, they are already considered successful in today's world. They are considered to be happy. They are considered to be having everything. Then there is a next state of functionally depressed. Functionally depressed state is where your person is constantly on the edge about everything. They are complaining about everything, and they keep losing interest in what they have to do, what they can do, and whatever they do is not enough ever. And they're always finding new things to do or better things to do. If they can't do that, they have no value of their own life, or they become depressed. So they are actually riding a depression. They are not depressed, but they are riding depression. So these people have only space in their mind for what they compulsively have to do. They don't have any space for anything else. But still they are functional in the sense that in the most significant parts of their life, like in profession and wherever they are specifically needed, they are functional and they get things done, even if they are not happy. Then there is a depressed mind space. Depressed mind space, they are actually under depression, that they are dysfunctional, completely insignificant areas in their life. They might be functional sometimes dysfunctional. There is a states keep moving, and they need professional counseling. So from here, the state goes to needing professional help, compulsively, because otherwise they can't function at all. Then there is mentally unstable mind space, where they have no control. They lose ability to communicate meaningfully to others, and they are very high mood swings. And these people, they need psychiatrists, basically. We can't help them. So from the most affected to most free, And beyond optimal mind space, if the person who has optimal mind space or functional mind space, if they practice spirituality in a beneficial way, see, anything is a tool in our life. Even spirituality is sort of a tool. It is something that we can use either to benefit ourselves or to damage ourselves. So how do we know whether we are benefiting or damaging? Is very simple. Are we doing it out of freedom? Are we doing it out of compulsion? That is a simple question. If you are doing something out of compulsion, there is an element of corruption to it. That means that it is creating certain amount of damage to us. We basically don't have choice. Still in that state, if person understands and accepts that they are doing this to improve that state towards freedom, with that awareness, if they do, then they slowly progress towards optimal mind space. It takes effort. They have to put the effort. So spirituality is like moving upwards in this screen. And otherwise, typically it goes from top to down. People, if you see young children, they have so much energy, so much processing space, so much curiosity. It's like they are already in optimal mind space. It's parents who and adults who create problems for them, but they have that optimal mind space. So then from optimal, the children are brought down to functional mind space so that they can actually function as per values of the society rather than their potential. So from there, as a person grows into adult, typically they go into functionally depressed state. It happens for every one of us. If we move between these three states, optimal, functional, and functionally depressed. Few unfortunate people go down to depressed state and mentally unstable as well. So the whole point of this is for us to understand where we are and how our life has been, how we have moved through all these states, and where do we want to be and how do we go there. So it just creates a sort of a measure or a scale for us to understand. Next is, what is success? Many people feel success has many meanings, but it's basically going from point A to point B. That is, we are here, we want to get there. And if we get there, that is success. So even unlocking our potential or improving our potential from, say, functionally depressed to functionally to optimal, if we have to go up there, then it's very important for us to fix a goal to get there. Otherwise, we will be doing many things, but they are not focused on the direction that we need to go. So having a vision or a goal is very important. Then how do we go about achieving those goals? There are three different ways. One is strategic, other is behavior shift, third is karmic shift. What is the difference between these is very simple. Strategy is just to get it done. You create based on your situation in life. You know what are do's and don'ts that you're told to get there, and understanding the big picture, avoiding pitfalls, workarounds, jugaad, planning. All these are part of strategy. And typically strategy works in many common goals. But in spiritual goals, strategy is never enough. Because spirituality itself is more of a karmic and behavioral shift thing than a strategy thing. So when we go next level, when strategy doesn't work, so for optimal mind space, strategy is enough. But if for a functional mind space where they are struggling, there is some amount of behavioral work that is required. So what is behavior shift? We have to understand in Bhagavad Gita, there is a verse saying, Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti bhupama. You might have all heard that. It basically says when a person gets angry or is triggered with anger, anger is an emotion. So he loses his consciousness of what is right and what is wrong, and then does something without meaning to. So angry people don't mean what they do unless they are purposefully angry. That is a different kind of anger. But here in this case, behavioral shift is required when behavior is not in our control, basically. So there is a trigger, there is an emotion, and there is a compulsion. Compulsion is the observed behavior. What's happening inside mind is the emotion. Sometimes we can observe that emotion, sometimes we don't. And trigger is something in the environment that is triggering that emotion. So when we work with behavioral shift, we work with these three things. Either we know there is a compulsion that we are doing things in a certain way that is not helpful to us, it is causing damage, and we need to improve that our behavior. Anger is not good, I want to become more peaceful. I have a lot of stress, I want to be peaceful. I am lonely, and because of loneliness, I am doing so, and I don't want to be lonely. So these are simple things that are related to behavior. So here, typically, psychologically, if you say they do cognitive work, behavioral therapy, cognitive work, radical forgiveness, meditations, and so many things come into picture in behavioral shift. And then when we say behavioral shift, it is very personal. Strategy is not personal. Strategy, if you create, others can follow and make it get things happen for you. But behavioral shift is something that an individual has to work on themselves. Nobody else can work for them. Others can support, but work has to be done by the individual. Then comes karmic shift. Karmic shift is like we are not working with consciousness anymore. We are reprogramming the subconscious. So in reprogramming subconscious, if you go to an astrologer and they say you have Rahu or Ketu effect, and for that you have to do this remedy. Like you have to do puja for Ganpati, or you have to do puja for Hanuman or something. What they are basically trying to do is trying to connect you to the right kind of energies that will automatically try to reprogram your mind without you knowing, your subconscious mind. When we are connected with right kind of energies, that it's like a relief for us. So those energies are not available in our life, so we are having those troubles. They give that remedies. But this can be done consciously as well. Consciously, if we understand what kind of compulsion that we are having, what kind of emotions are getting triggered, and what is triggering those emotions. If we are able to be aware of this in the behavioral aspect, then we can work on the karmic aspect as well. So we have a clue, a doorway into our subconscious. Typically, in non-spiritual processes, or if you have to understand researched process rather than belief systems, then the work is done through sort of regression systems, right? The hypnotherapy or regression therapy that we call, in which we work with the subpersonalities, which are representative of those challenges in our life. And there is inner child work, past life regression, ancestral regression, generational patterns, parasitic energies. In this, even some amount of black magic sort of things, or if somebody has emotionally abused a lot, then those patterns of energies get stuck to us, clearing those energies, removing influence of other people, unwanted people from our mind. All these things comes under karmic shift, because these are all considered as karmic remnants of the past. So when we work at strategic level, we only achieve a small goal. When we shift a behavior with a lot of conscious effort, we create change in certain part of our life. But when we work about with karmic shift, it's like evolving to the next level of ourselves. So everything about us changes a little bit and we evolve and become better. So these are the different levels of work we can do on ourselves, and or with the help of someone who knows how to guide the person in this direction. Now, if we using that information, how to make it practically work for us, there are certain steps that we need to go through. I'm not going to details because detail is like for each individual, it will take 1 month work to get this whole thing done. But just giving you an overview of what can be done. So first step is goal clarity. To even understand goal, we need to understand what is the challenge that we are facing and what do we want to overcome. But many people don't have the clarity about challenge, but they want things in their life. So we can start there and have a clear goal. It doesn't matter what your goal is. It doesn't matter, like I said many times, it doesn't matter what choices you make. What really matters is how you face the consequences. If we are capable of facing the consequences, then choices don't matter. Because we will be able to benefit from any consequence because we can manage it and we can get best out of it. So set any proper goal that we feel is worth it and we are ready to work on it. The question that will help you is, what do I really want to be? And how will I know that I have achieved it? These are the two questions you need to answer. If you are able to clearly answer, how will I know I've achieved it? And what do I really want to be? Then you have certain amount of goal clarity. Then next is awareness of the challenges. Many people have challenges, but they are not aware of, because as adult, what happens is we have adapted our life to avoid our problems, avoid our challenges. When a child is there, in childhood, parents make all choices and we have to adapt to our parents' requirement. We don't have choice. But as we grow up as an adult, we have choice. So problem is that we make choices to avoid our challenges. We build our life and surround ourselves with the people who will face challenges for us, or we don't have to face even those challenges. So we make our life comfortable. There is comfort zone. So biggest thing that if you want to grow spiritually is go out of that comfort zone and become aware of the challenge. What is the challenge I've been avoiding all my life? And still it doesn't go away. That is what I'm supposed to address in this life. So that's where life purpose comes in. Life purpose can be identified for our life by seeing which challenge I've been trying to avoid but not able to avoid. And it keeps getting bigger and bigger. Addressing that challenge is our life purpose, at least for that moment of time. So awareness of challenge is very important. So another question, simple question that makes us aware of challenges: what makes this goal so difficult? And acknowledge that, okay, this is making my life difficult. This is what I'm not able to avoid despite trying. That means this is something I need to work on. So acknowledge that problem, that I have this challenge. Every challenge means there is a weakness within us. How do I know I have weakness? Simply, when we face a challenging situation, we feel drained. We don't feel energized by the challenge. We feel drained. If you are energized, it's not a weakness. But if you are drained and if it is painful and it is not in the pain of physical pain, it's more of a mental pain, emotional pain. It is very stressful. then there is a weakness inside us. And we need to identify what is that weakness behind this challenge. Challenge is like a situation from outside that we are finding it difficult to face. Whereas weakness is something about us, within us, that we need to accept so that we can address it. Biggest challenge is for us is that we find it very difficult to accept our own weakness, even if it is glaring in front of us. Even if someone else tells us, even people all around us are seeing it, we don't see it. So the next step if you want to unlock potential is accepting that particular weakness. I'm not saying you accept every weakness in your life. No. Whatever goal you have set for yourself, for that goal to be achieved, what is the challenge that you need to work on? For that challenge, which weakness is coming in way? What is that is draining you? What is that is so painful there? That is what we need to accept. And when we accept that, the next biggest problem is willingness to face our fears and pains, because we have to leave our comfort zone, actually face it. If we are not facing and saying that I am very peaceful here, why should I go out and create a state of stress? Anybody can be peaceful when there is no stress. Our potential only unlocks when we are peaceful in a stressful state. We exercise. What are we doing in exercise? We are stressing our muscles. Our muscles only grow stronger when we stress them. If I'm not exercising and I feel that I'm strong, am I really strong? We don't know. I might be strong, I might not be strong. Only when I have to lift the weight, for some other reason, I'll know. Am I able to lift it or I'm not able to lift it? But whenever there is a weight, if I run away and say, it is stressful, I don't want stress, I want to be peaceful, then there is no growth. As adults, we have that option to run away. As children, we didn't have that. Parents made us do things which we didn't like. So this is very important if you want to really grow into a better person, evolve into a better person. Willingness to face our fears and pains. Once we have faced, we have experienced it properly, without running away, without rejecting. So there's a next point of facing is, we face sometimes because we have no choice, but we reject the experience instead of accepting that experience. Difference is willingly experiencing pain and being forced to experience pain are two different things. If we feel that someone else is forcing me, it is not for me, it's for them I'm doing this, then there is no growth. It's a trap. But if I'm facing this pain and stress for myself, then there is enlightenment. Then suddenly I feel happy about facing that stress. Have you ever faced this? You did something for yourself. Even if it was painful, you felt happy after that. You felt that you have learned something enlightening happened there. We all experience such things from time to time. So one of the important thing about goals is that many people confuse when they say goals, they make it about their family or they make it about others. In spiritual growth, goal cannot be about others. Goal has to be about us. Not only about us, it has to be for us. And because we choose this goal and we want to make it happen, only then we'll be able to face it. And then the next step comes. Once we have faced the challenge, don't think that the problem went away because I faced once. No. We have exercised a little bit today and strengthened our muscles a little bit willingly. And the next step is go further. Strengthen, strengthen, strengthen. So strengthening our core personality is achieving measurable strength in the areas of the weakness. And when this strengthening happens again and again and again, then going into that stressful environment is no more stressful. It is fun. We enjoy our life. Then this shift is permanent. So persistence is required to make that happen to that extent. I went, because you told me today, tomorrow I went and like 1st of January, we make a resolution to do something. And by 2nd, we forget. Similarly, today you set a goal and you did something, you faced reality, and from tomorrow you leave it. It's not going to change anything. The point is achieving that goal. Is that goal is achieving the measurable strength in the area of weakness. When that happens, this cycle is complete. You are ready to evolve to the next aspect. You choose another goal and keep working. So this is the basic framework I've given. Now I'll open it to conversation. If anybody wants to participate, just ask and we'll start conversation. So first question is, what did you learn and how was it useful for you? Who would like to answer this to start off the conversation?
Sorry, what's the
Karmic
question?
shift was a new learning, and
Yeah.
I think I'm Johnny Kiram.
Yeah, Janik Ram,
And
please.
I think the spiritual teachings are, after listening to your lecture, I linked spiritual teachings are basically to bring about behavioral shift and karmic shift.
Yes. Yeah. Deepti ji, you were saying something?
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Mhm.
Anybody else? Or do you have any questions about what and how to make it happen?
I learned quite a bit, actually, quite a lot. I was taking some notes
Yeah.
because it was you had very systematically put it down. Although each is a subject by itself, like you rightly said,
Right.
but it gives a nice structure to what you said. And my question is to do with the subconscious level of change. You said it's in the what is it something what are the practices that somebody a common person can use to to make that shift at a subconscious level? Do they always need help, external help?
Typically, it is said that having a guru who can help you at the subconscious level is sort of a requirement. If not requirement, it's like highly beneficial. So that's one thing, like for a karmic shift. And people who are aware of this and can guide you, because I work in this space, this is my profession as well. So I work in these aspects. So I understand. So there are many things that actually work together. Like if you are on a spiritual path, you're already doing this to some extent. But to what extent? Usually spirituality is very vague. There are many things available, but what exactly do I know? How do I apply it? I don't know. You do this will happen. You do this meditation, it will happen. When will it happen? How will it be? Is it focused? Is it goal oriented? Nobody knows. So what I've seen is it becomes sort of disconnected to life. The challenge is that spiritual life is different, material life is different. Instead of integrating it, we fragment it. Spirituality is all about integrating and becoming one. Instead, we are fragmenting further. So this is the problem I've seen. So what I have seen whenever I work with my clients, what I do is, no matter what path they are on, I help them identify how they can integrate it with whatever challenges they are facing, how to improve it. And also show them where they are avoiding challenges instead of facing it. Like people practice meditation, they get power. Meditation is basically done for two reasons. One is to become aware of ourselves. Second is to gain power or empowerment. Sometimes even awareness itself is empowering. So especially meditations that are very powerful, which are empowering, that are highly damaging if you are avoiding your problems. The process is supposed to be that you get that power and apply it in the area of weakness and strengthen yourself. Instead, what we do is we apply that power to increase our ego, empower the weakness rather than empower ourselves. So that becomes a pitfall. So subconscious, there are a lot of things. Even meditation, some kind of meditations are working on subconscious. Like I said, in astrology also, they give some remedies which are working on subconscious. There are so many things that naturally we are doing, but not with the structure of what I really want to do. And I'm even this working with subconscious, it's like using a strategy rather than using a karmic shift. Right? So do I want to work at like a strategy? If I go to astrology, they give a remedy, I do that remedy, and then this problem is solved. So that is like a strategy. It is not like a karmic shift. Right? So karmic shift is working on ourselves on a much deeper level. So there are many things out there that are working at the subconscious level. Even naturally, when we are living in our life, both conscious and subconscious are acting simultaneously. But we are only aware of the part of our consciousness. We are not aware of how unconscious is working. So what I found beneficial is because I don't like doing things with vague promises without getting any clear path of how from here to there, how I'm going. So I have integrated the spiritual paths into the life coaching, into regression and all these things to understand the past karmic issues, how to identify and work with them, to current behaviors, how to modify them, and then to create that shift that person needs. This doesn't say that you shouldn't use the other avenues that you have. If you believe in astrology and you think that, like I said, they give the right energy, but I'll tell you how to use that energy for this specific problem in this particular place so that you can create a behavior shift instead of use it as a strategy. I'll take you to the level that you can use that energy to get to the karmic shift instead of using it as a strategy. Okay.
Right.
So subconscious is constantly getting affected. But how do we use it to create spiritual growth is like we have to work at the karmic shift level rather than a strategy. But if you expressively, if you want a subconscious process, regression is very strong subconscious process. But self-regression is not easy unless you have very high, very powerful, you are practicing very powerful meditation where guru also understands auto-regression and teaches you that process and you have learned it, then you can do it for yourself. Until then, having some professional do it with for you is much better.
So can these processes be done virtually, or do you need the person to be present?
Person has to be mentally present at least, not physically.
Okay, so that means you can do it
online. Yes, there are many clients I have who are in different parts of India. Even some clients in US who came here and attended few sessions and they wanted to continue. They continued after going back as well.
Right.
So it depends upon what you really want, and it really is. Some people who live in Hyderabad, they prefer coming physically because they are more comfortable that way.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary.
Right. I'm glad to know that. Because when you're doing deep hypnosis and stuff like that, I was wondering about the disturbance, and you have to.
Yeah, that is one thing that's important, is that you should have that environment from where you are. You have to plan that for that 1 or 2 hours you are not disturbed.
Mhm.
That's required. If you are constantly being disturbed around, you can't take benefit of that.
That's true. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Any more
There are
questions?
some in the chat. Chat some questions.
Chat,
Are there.
okay. Yeah. Let me open the chat. How do you know what you have achieved? So for this, if you see, we have to predetermine even before. How will I know what I have achieved, that I have achieved it? If we understand this, if this clarity is there with the goal, then you will know that you have achieved it, because you have already decided what is that before even stepping into it. In goal clarity, how will I know that I have achieved it? That is something that we decide. Because we have decided that if I am able to do this, then I have said that I have achieved this. So to that extent, being able to do that will give you a measure of achieving something. So it's a measure that we consciously say that this is when I will know. So that's why if some people are not able to get to this point by themselves, then we help them get to that place where they are able to decide, okay, if I'm able to do, then I will say, yes, I've done this. And the next question from Binny says, your talk itself was enlightening to me. Does doing puja really solve our problem? Does puja give directions in life? I was told to do puja to solve my health issues. Yes. Again, as I said, like meditation, puja, it's also a sort of meditation. It's a connection with certain energies. The difference between meditation and puja is, in meditation, it's a mental connection. In puja, it's much more lively, engaging, and there are physical rituals, and there are a lot of colors, there are a lot of symbolism. So it's very easy to engage ourselves in puja than in a meditation. So does puja really solve our problems? To some extent, yes. To what extent? That depends upon how well you are doing puja, how well you are engaging with the energies of puja rather than being distracted by other things. And it depends. Does puja give directions in life? If you want, you can get directions. Do you know how to get directions? I don't know. But it is possible. I was told that puja, some puja to solve my health issues. They really help to a certain extent based on how well you do it. It may solve. But if you want to really understand, better is to go through, use this framework for yourself, where you actually set a goal of using puja to get to a certain destination. You should know what you want to achieve and how is puja helping you there. It is something that we need to observe. What part of puja is helping me? And be sensitive to the energy that we are connecting to. Like Ganapati is an energy, like Lakshmi is an energy, like Hanuman is an energy. And then how to connect with these energies is with emotions. Puja is Bhakti Marga. Once there is a Bhakti concept, Bhakti means emotion is predominant. So how well am I sensing those emotions with the deity I am connecting with? Am I doing it wholeheartedly and connecting with that energy? Or my connection is not so well. I'm just doing ritual. I don't know if I'm really connected. It depends upon the mental, emotional sensitivity of that connection. And if we have that emotional sensitivity, then puja is highly effective. If the emotional sensitivity is low, we are not connecting to those emotions and those energies well, then I don't know how to what extent and how it will help you. It's case to case basis. Can you please share your number? Okay, I'll share in the chat. Share. And thank you for the compliment, Nazarius. If the goal is to move further in being one, if the goal is to move further in being one with the God, then how will you know? Okay. Before even understanding being one with the God, we need to understand what is God. Because definition is God is very personal and subjective. It is not universal. It is not a thing outside there. Like a fan, this is a fan, I know, because it has a certain shape and it has certain function. There is a motor, then it blows air. So I know that this is a fan. But when it comes to God, there are so many definitions, so many, it's very personal. So I have to decide what is God for me. If I don't know what is God, I won't know how I can become one with the God. So if I don't know where am I going, I'm asking the path, which direction should I take? Any direction will work because you don't know where you are going, you will get anywhere. So first thing to know about God is what is God for you? Because it's your definition of God that matters, not someone else. Because that is the energy you'll connect with. That is the energy you want to be one with. So dig deep into you and first identify what is God for me. And then you can decide what is being one with the God. And once you have decided what is being one with the God, then automatically you know, right? You have whether you have become one with the God or not. So this is a very personal journey. It can't be same for everyone. So we have to work on it to get these answers within ourselves, not by someone else cannot answer these things for you. I can only guide you with the direction that you need to take. First, identify what is God. Next, identify what is being one with the God. Once you have identified that, work towards it and you will know. And how to request a consultation? Just WhatsApp me, request, and I'll mention that at least give me a day or two in advance time for setting up the appointment, and tell me which day and morning or evening half that is convenient to you, typical timings. Then I'll see what slots are available in my appointment sheet and I can give you those. It's as simple as that. And typically my first session is free for everyone. I want to give some button value, make them aware of these things and help them. If they want me to help them achieve their goals, be it spiritual, be it professional, be it relationships, only then we can speak about the packages and whatever else. For one consultation, to basically understand where you are and what is right for you, and get even guidance like this, there is no charge. Yes, remote consultation is possible right from the start. There's no problem.
If I ask some personal question, one is where do you reside? That is one question.
Hyderabad.
And, pardon?
Hyderabad.
Hyderabad, okay. Second one is, what was the karmic shift or behavioral shift which from a nuclear scientist or nuclear engineer to become a spiritual scientist and engineer?
That's a tough question, whether it is karmic shift or a strategy shift. Simply, I wanted to grow, I chose and just left job and kept moving on till I found my way. That's all. It was like blundering around in the beginning. And as I found my way, as I found my clarity, I kept on working, and today I'm here like this. So if you ask me, was it karmic shift? I would rather say it was some sort of life plan which I had created before being born than having a conscious knowing of moving in this direction. It was like, this is not where I need to be. It should be something else. That was the clarity I had at that time. So I kept on moving. But now when I'm working, I'm a little more systematic.
Very nice. Your biodata is very impressive. And in your talk, you didn't touch upon Atman or soul.
See, again, Atma is like, there are many aspects of how Atma is used in spirituality. It's a concept. Is it real? Yes, it is. But how do you experience it? It's like blind man touching an elephant. One says it is like a rope. One says it's like a pillar. One says like it's a wall. It's the same thing like this. So rather than talking about it, if you want to experience it, I can guide you. Talking about it is meaningless. In simple sense, if you ask what is Atman to me, the knowledge that I know that I exist is coming from somewhere. I'm conscious of my being alive. And that doesn't come from the body. Body is an extension of my life. But the source of that life, that Chaitanya, what we call, or being conscious of myself. When I'm being conscious of myself, initially it might start with body. I'm being conscious of my body. Then as I'm being conscious of my body, I suddenly become conscious of my mind. What am I thinking? What am I feeling about this? Then when I move beyond that, being conscious of mind, I become conscious of my existence separate from this body and mind. How do I know I have achieved this? There are certain signs. Something is like a natural silence. It is not silence of absence of sound. It's more like silence of presence of consciousness. These are two different things. So
Yeah.
having that awareness of that conscious silence or the divine silence or divine love, these are the states that we can experience when we are in that existence beyond body and mind. So that could be one of the goals for people to experience. But it's only one of the tools. Because we have experienced this, we know that we can get there. We can be there. Does this answer your question?
Thank you. Yes, very well explained. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the School of Ancient Wisdom, I wish to thank Mr. Veda Vyas for his insightful talk on creating destiny. We wish him all the best for his future endeavors and look forward to his continued association with the School of Ancient Wisdom. Thank you once again, Mr. Veda Vyas.
Thank you, everyone. I really enjoyed having this conversation and talking to you.
Very value-adding talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And especially thank Deepti ji for conducting and and Swati ji, who actually contacted me and arranged this whole thing.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, any other question, or shall we close it, or how does it go?
Any more questions from anyone? No, it's we're through with the session. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Thank you.